what we're going to do right now is we're going to get into the Cornel West new policies that were unveiled yesterday on the website. You know, there was a tremendous amount of conversation, a lot of running around and focus on a new announcement that Dr. Cornel West will be running as an independent, not a part of the Green Party. And a lot of what was missed or got lost during that translation was an amazing platform that I'm going to share with you today. Now, this platform, folks, you can go picture it for yourself. In fact, I encourage you to open up your browser and go to cornelwest2024.com because that's what we'll be using. And yes, so
the threat is
I have the website. Let's see. Here we go. Let's go to the website here. There we go. There we go. So that's it. Let me back up a little bit here. Let's see if we can back up just a bit. Let's go back to the website and see if people can see that. There you go. There goes the actual website before we get to anything. So the cornelwest2024.com website, that's the updated URL that you want to go to. It does redirect, but might as well go directly to it by typing the right address. So cornelwest2024.com is the new web address you want to go to, and you will get a lot of information there. And on that website, folks, you will see platform. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the entire platform. This very detailed platform of pillars, I would call them pillars of the Cornel West campaign and what it entails. So that's what we're going to get into, guys. I hope that you are ready for it. I hope that's something you found useful. Once again, my name is Tim Black. Look, share this out on your social media for me, please. We want to get the word out that we're covering this. It ain't sexy, but this is the whole reason for a campaign. This is the whole reason why someone should run, and this is the reason why you should vote for someone. Right? So when we're having conversations about who's going to be the best person, who do we want to put in office, all this conversation, if it doesn't come down to policy, then all we're having is a personality contest. And worse, the arm twisting of, you won't vote for me, you ain't black, and all that nonsense. Now, the reason why you should vote for someone, if you're gonna vote for someone or donate to a campaign or volunteer for a campaign, should be rooted in what they're going to offer the people and what their agenda is for the country and for the world. So that's what we want to focus on today. We're going to take time out and try to get to the bottom of it. And I want to briefly just check and make sure my people are here. There we go. We got a few people in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in. And Nelson, the Jaminum, 93. All right, Danny Ferguson, UBIK. Valerie Ross, Old Gamer. Blake Rickerson. And I agree. Michael Franks, what's up, Wolfpack? I agree. Who said that? UBIK says it has reparations. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's there. Valerie. Hey, Valerie. UBIK says his policies are awesome. UBIK has already checked the website. And there are things that were on the website before that are on this website. It's just weird that people, I encourage people to go read the website. Because that's the blueprint of what the campaign stands for and what it wants to accomplish, what the vision is, and what it supports. So, yeah, regardless of what candidate you support, and I hope it's Dr. Cornel West, but maybe today, will win you over a little bit with this campaign. Because this is what the campaign's about. And I can tell you there's some things in this campaign, the policies that aren't on other candidates. The other candidates do not have in their platform, such as Joe Biden, okay? So, it is what it is. I'm going to give a big shout out, man. Big shout out to Marcos from Harlem. Give it up for my man Marcos from Harlem, because Marcos hit me up last night, and he said, Tim Black, man, we need to go over these. We need to go over. First of all, he said, "Look, Tim, I don't want to tell you what to do because you're my, no disrespect, no disrespect. But brother, it would be awesome if you went over the policies. It's important that people know what the campaign's all about, and if you took the time to go over the policies, I think it would be invaluable to the volunteers, to people that are weighing their decisions, and just an informational guide for folks. And of course, Marcos, who's full of great ideas from Harlem. Marcos from Harlem. Rosha from Harlem. Yeah, man. As soon as my internet connection came back up. So it didn't come back up till almost noon, and that was good because I had a lot of prep to do. So that's it, guys. Let's get into this. Lawrence, shout out to Marcos from Harlem. Shout out to Lawrence Sneed. I think Lawrence is out there in Jersey. I think he's in Jersey. That's my brother as well. I got a couple folks that are really in my corner, and of course, the one and only Mrs. Black for all her support. And what we're going to do to get things kicked off with the policies, let's do this. So yesterday I interviewed Dr. Cornel West, and he announced live on this show his first announcement of switching to an independent candidate. He did it right here on the Tim Black Show. So amazing, right? Amazing. And during that conversation about the new transition, what it means, which is another video, you got to go check that out. Please don't listen to the rumors. Please don't listen to the rumors. And if you got to listen to them, please weigh the rumors with the horse's mouth. All right? We got people telling you what this means who haven't talked to Dr. Cornel West, who haven't read his website, who haven't done any due diligence. Okay? We got some people that are blacking out on reality because they're in certain camps. And there's a lot of shade being thrown by certain people. Okay? So I just want to ride with the facts. Not your feelings, not your gut, not what somebody told you, but let's go with what we have now. If you don't trust Dr. Cornel West, you think he's all these horrible things, well then you're basically your opinion doesn't matter because you're too biased. Dr. Cornel West hasn't been in politics 40 years. He doesn't have his fingertips or his fingerprints on mass incarceration, every piece of horrible legislation. He hasn't took us to any wars. He hasn't voted for any wars. So I don't know where all the animosity comes from. I mean, I got a feeling I know where it comes from, but I can't be sure, right? So anyway, Dr. Cornel West came on the show yesterday, and we started our conversation, and during the conversation, we talked about the policies. Let's do that.
The threat is an institutional and an infrastructural threat, and I can understand that. But as long as you have a presence as well, and you're going to November, we going to November no matter what. No matter what. And as those states accumulate, and as the language of anti-imperialism, anti-militarism, anti-racism, critiques of predatory capitalism, concerned about ecological collapse, and you saw the platform that we dropped today.
Yes, see, that was my next. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the lead that gets buried, and you were one of the few ones to pick up on that. And Anahita told me that. And Anahita says hello to you as well.
Hello to her, Dr. West. Yes.
That she picked up on that, laying out that platform, man.
It's people over politics, and and the policy. The policy is what the people have really been clamoring about. Folks, I need you to all go check it out on the website. Okay, so, that was amazing. It was a good conversation. Of course, please go find that video. It's in there. Maybe I can have Sign of the Times if she's available. Maybe she'll link you to the video here. But okay, let's go to that website. Now, look, guys, remember, you can always point your browser and follow along. That's our website. You want to go to cornelwest2024.com is the website. To get to the issues, the platform itself, just click on platform in the corner here. Policy pillars for a movement rooted in truth, justice, and love. Now, to make things easier for myself, I went on and did screenshots. So let's come out of here. And our first pillar is economic justice. So the first pillar is economic justice, and it has a series of, how would I put this? Objectives underneath each pillar. So abolish poverty. Abolish homelessness. Establish federal public banking institutions to fund public infrastructure and green reconstruction. Establish a federal universal basic income commission. Wealth tax on all billionaire holdings and transactions. Indoor tax loopholes for the oligarchy. A national $27 minimum wage with special considerations for specific geographies where $27 an hour would not be a family-sustaining wage. Man, whoa, guys, whoa. Are we, can you wrap your head around what we're dropping down here, guys? Folks, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Black's Wolfpack, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Does this sound like something you could get behind? A mandatory minimum of 6 months of fully paid parental leave. You know, like some other countries. Ensuring family, sustaining and living wages for all disability benefits. A national jobs program to ensure full employment to every person. Increase federal support for businesses established as worker-owned cooperatives and other alternative worker models. Right to qualify for affordable housing by eliminating coverage gaps. An end to Wall Street mass real estate holdings and the marketization of human rights. The breakup of monopolies, including big tech. Ban corporate stock buybacks. End the use of credit scores for any decisions associated with finance, housing, or employment. Boom. Boom, guys. Wow. I told you it was robust. Folks. A very thorough platform. I think at some time we'd have to come back and take a detailed look at all and go through it. Like, I think we could spend hours upon hours just going through each line and saying what that would mean for our lives, how that would change things. I don't want to spend that much time on each topic because I want to respect your time. Yeah. But I got to say, guys, you had me at abolish poverty and homelessness. Over 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Homelessness is out of control. It's rampant. And those who are most affected by homelessness tend to be brown folks, black and brown folks. And when we talk about poverty, just back it up for a second, whenever we talk about poverty, we got to remember that we talk a lot about childhood poverty, right? We don't talk much about our seniors. We do not talk enough about seniors living under poverty. The largest group of Americans living under the poverty line are seniors. We don't talk about that much. And we should talk about it more. To my friends who didn't much appreciate the majority of Andrew Yang's platform, but who were supporters of the UBI, there it is. Universal basic income. And coupled with that, we have a jobs program. So it was always kind of split between people that want a federal jobs guarantee or something to that extent and a universal basic income. So these are policies that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. supported as well. So these aren't new ideas. It's just that in this highly corporatized United States of corporations that we live in, we don't hear this stuff. This is what cable news should be talking about. But they don't talk about this, do they? They talk about Trump's hands or Trump's hair or how horrible Trump is. They've been saying that for 4 years now. Do they focus on the things that are in this economic justice platform? And even when Dr. West gets an opportunity to go on the platforms, he's going to have to force the issue to talk about his policies because they don't want to talk about policies. If it wasn't for Ari Melba of MSNBC, I don't think we'd ever hear anything about his policies. So let's go on to the next one. Since we got so much to do, come on, Tim Black. We got 11 pillars. We're only on number 2. Number 2 in the hierarchy, and I don't want to say this is based on importance. It's just the second one on the list. It's worker justice, which includes establish a workers' bill of rights that includes the end of right-to-work states. Greater protections for workers who attempt to unionize. No more union busted. No more union busted. Now you hear me, folks. A requirement for all nonprofit organizations to allow for the unionization of workers and collective bargaining. Hey, folks. So right now, unions are a hot topic, and a lot of people are focusing on unions. Even Joe Biden went down for about 10 minutes and still with some union workers at the United Auto Workers strike. He was there for about 10 minutes. He showed up after being pressured by Trump and Dr. Cornel West, being showed up by them. Hey, guys. So we got people that have a track record of standing with unions, supporting unions, protesting alongside union workers and other workers. And we got somebody like Joe Biden who hasn't done that. In fact, he's made it harder to unionize prior to this, now that he's like grasping at straws, trying to get things, make himself seem a little bit less draconian than he is, right? Just keep in mind, the proof is in the pudding, right? A requirement for all nonprofit organizations to allow for the unionization of workers in collective bargaining. Yeah, that's going out to all you guys out there. All the nonprofits, too, falling through the cracks. A 1-year limit on contract negotiations. If the contract is not completed in 1 year, the demands of the workers will be immediately codified. Yeah, if you got a contract holdout and the workers can sustain themselves for a year, they get their negotiations met. Listen to this. Listen to this. We're talking about the transfer of balance of power to the worker. 33% minimum worker representation for all board of directors. Okay. Man, come on, guys. Someone told me, Tim Black, we got to lay off the buzzer, lay off the hand claps. I'm trying to break free of my hand claps and my buzzer buttons, but these policies are so amazing, it's just difficult, guys. Transfer paid family leave to mandate a minimum of 6 months fully paid time off. Transform paid family leave to mandate a minimum of 6 months fully paid time off. Folks, 6 months of paid time off for families. Family leave. It's amazing all my conservative folks that say we're pro-life. This is how you know they're bogus, right? This is how you know that the platform of the Republican Party is bogus. How pro-life are you if you not only don't care about kids once they're born, but even in the actual rearing of the child, you don't care about that either? Why isn't the Republican Party fighting for a policy like this? We know why. They don't really care. It's just lip service. They want to control women's bodies and say, hey, we're pro-life, but they're not really pro-life. Because pro-life would be making sure the child has a healthy life. That would also include health care, which they and Joe Biden oppose. No public option. No universal coverage. All right, back to this. Indoor pay discrepancies based on race, gender, identity, disability, etc. Disability status. Listen to this, guys. That's right. You know, that's one of the reasons why I support Dr. Cornel West, because when I talk about race with some of my friends, well, people I thought were my friends, but if you don't want what's best for me, like you want what's best for you, if you don't want what's best for my kids, like what's best for your kids, if you don't respect the fact I want my kids to have the same shot in life as you and your kids, if you say I'm divisive for one of my kids to have, listen to what people are saying. I don't think I've ever put it that way, but I like that. Listen to this, guys. If you don't want for my children the same thing as you want for your children, if I tell you my children are being disproportionately held back, and I'm telling you my children are not having the same amount of pay when they go work. When they go to work, when they land a job, if they're fortunate enough to land a job with all the discrimination that they're going to deal with, going to face. And if I tell you, hey, we need to do something about the fact that there's unequal pay for black kids, black people, black employees, and you say, there you go, being divisive again. How can you tell me that we have a coalition of workers of class coalition? How are we going to have a class coalition when I tell you, hey, they're underpaying me? And you say, we don't want to hear about that. You don't want to hear about it because it's not you. And that's one of the reasons why I support Dr. Cornel West. Because, homie, don't play that. You don't play it. And that's one of the reasons why some of the people are smearing him. Because they don't care. They could care less. Their whole job is to win and get votes. And they don't really care about the policy. That as it pertains to us. Let's keep going, guys. I get so caught up in the policies are great, man. Establish a federal commission to institute a 4-day work week. Come on now. Come on now. Precedents being set. Once upon a time, we didn't have a 5-day work week. We established a 5-day work week, what, back in the 50s? Early 60s? When was that established? Somebody in the comment section, if you know when a 5-day work week was established, please point that out. It may have been much earlier than that. I'm guessing at this point. But I know it was fought for. Reviewed all U.S. trade agreements and canceled any provisions that exploit workers domestically and internationally. Wow. This is also economic justice. This goes over probably every pillar. A national free pre-K child care. National free pre-K child care. Once again, guys, like, look, I'm one of those people, man, like, I'm down to go after Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't go far enough on this. But I gotta tell you, man, we got these folks that say they care about kids, they're pro-life, they don't even care about pre-K. If you care about kids, all kids, because we can talk about black kids specifically, and we know, based on all the obstacles that we face with the fact that our schools are funded via tax base, and that we're redlining to these communities that intentionally lower the value of our homes, right? It's all set up. And they don't want to give us pre-K for our children. Then, it's like it stacks on top of itself all the ways in which their policies are bogus. And they say, the policies tell me they don't care. They don't care about the people, folks. That's my whole point. That's the whole point. These are, it sounds earth-shatteringly great, right? It sounds like, wow, this is a utopia. Folks, please bear in mind, This is just common sense. This is just what we need. This is what, if you're going to have a platform, why not have a platform that says this is the way America should be? Why should you be settling for the lowest common denominator? Excuse me. Why not aim for the stars? Why not shoot for the stars? Why not shoot for the moon? There you go. Why not shoot for the moon? If they can say, hey, what do you want? You don't say, well, how much will you give me? How little can I get? We got a lot of politicians that do that, you know. How little can I get? What's the least amount that'll tick you off? Status quo, people. So that's not the way that Dr. West wants to run his campaign. He wants to set the bar here. Okay? And then let's shame them when they go here. Let's not cut ourselves off at the knees to make them look taller. No, we're gonna aim for the top. Folks, let's get our heads right. I had to get my head right about what time it is in this so-called progressive movement. There's some people, though they were nice people, these days they appeared to be nice, but they didn't want for my black family what they wanted for theirs. And when I said we have discrepancies, they were like, So I had to get my head right. I had to wrap my head around the reality of it. Okay? You got to wrap your head around, if you're listening to this, you got to wrap your head around the reality that we allow ourselves, we're so underrepresented. All of us are underrepresented. We don't receive enough for our citizenship as American citizens in the most powerful, the richest country that's ever existed. They're not doing right by their citizens. The fact that it's been able to go this far, this long, it's time to stand up. So these policies seem crazy. Yo, these policies are what the richest country in the world should have for its people. What's the point of being the richest country in the world? What's the point of being the most powerful country? They brag all the time about American exceptionalism. Our policies and the conditions of our citizens don't match that bragging rights. What are we bragging about? Because we got Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max. We got all these different channels on the remote. What's so exciting about that? No, we need to. How about happiness? How about not the joy of our lives? How about not the pursuit of that happiness? And how about the rights and the treatment of our citizens? So let's keep going, guys, because I got a lot to get to. I'm sorry, but I gotta say it. I gotta speak the truth, man. Right now, I know I got some people that are shaking their heads as they read this. They're like, oh, this is crazy. No, sometimes crazy is good. You need crazy. Number 3 is environmental justice. Here we go. We want to move beyond the Green New Deal to a global green reconstruction initiative. Lord have mercy, y'all. We want a constitutional right to clean air, clean water, and a healthy environment. Nationalize the fossil fuel industry. Nationalize the fossil fuel industry. Acknowledge and declare a climate emergency. Look at this, guys. Finally taking the climate change situation as seriously as it should be. Immediate cessation of all oil and gas leasing projects on federal lands and waters. Federal moratorium on fracking, carbon capture, and a direct air capture technologies, geoengineering, and other false climate solutions. No more bogus climate solutions. Climate reparations and contribute fair share to the Global Loss and Damage Fund. Wow. Wow. Man, I gotta hold back from not hitting the button to clap. Goodness gracious. Justice for Cancer Alley and other energy and economic sacrifice zones. Justice for Cancer Alley and energy and economic sacrifice zones. I got a confession, guys. I was contacted to cover the Cancer Alley, and I just could not find a scientist or a doctor that could come on with some of the folks to actually explain the content. And I felt out of my depth. And I want to say the cancer issue in Louisiana. There's an area in Louisiana where a number of poor and working class and hurting class, shout out to Reset Race, folks, black folks, they have a disproportionately high level of cancer occurrences. And it's due to the dumping and due to the toxicity of the companies that polluted this area and ruined the neighborhood with this illegal dumping. And I wanted to talk about it, but I just didn't feel like that I had the expertise to discuss it at the level that I thought it warranted. I need a scientist or a doctor to come on the show so I can have people that lived in the area. Goodness gracious, guys, I'm so sorry. People that lived in the area along with a scientist or a doctor to explain it. Let's keep going, guys. Just know this is a very serious issue. I'm sure Louisiana, this particular area, is not the only area that's impacted by this. When you're poor, they don't care about your life. And the fact that you don't have the ability to fight back. They treat us any old type of way, and they put our life up for grabs. They jeopardize our lives. So I want to keep going, guys. I just want you to know how important that is. Wow. Cancel the Willow Project, the Mountain Valley Pipeline, and all other harmful and unnecessary projects harming people and planet. Once again, we're aiming for the moon. We're not aiming for the concrete, the ground in front of us. We're not aiming for the ankles. We're aiming for the moon. We want to establish a national risk bond program for the fossil fuel and mining industries and associated infrastructure. We want to codify free, prior, and informed consent for indigenous people. Wow. Okay, I got to look this up. FPIC. End water privatization and establish a commission to address and solve the drinking water crisis across the nation. How big is that? It's amazing. Rescind the toxic provisions of the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. Look at this, guys. Folks, this is a platform that you should be proud of. Be proud of this platform, folks. It stacks up against any platform of any candidate who's ever ran for president. And we're just getting started. During my interview with Dr. Cornel West, he mentioned the name of someone who helped him, and if I remember correctly, this person helped him devise or shape or assisted in this amazing platform. His name is Anthony Rogers. And that's just a note that I jotted down during my conversation with Dr. West. Let's move on to number 4 on our pillars of justice. Number 4 is health justice. Health justice. I had some folks on Twitter say this is the most robust health pillar for a presidential candidate that they've ever seen. The most robust. That's what she said. It was somebody from the Red Berets. So shut yourself out, person from the Red Berets. Here we go. Go beyond Medicare for all towards true health justice. That's right, guys, they're pushing the envelope. Habeas corpus healthcare, free healthcare for any and all residents of the United States. Now that's something we can get behind. That's something to get behind, folks. None of this tying ourselves to the lowest common denominator. We want to codify abortion rights. It's a constitutional mandate. Your body, your choice, not mine. Remove transgender exclusions and limitations from all healthcare policies. Once again, your body, not mine. Nationalize the healthcare industry, including the pharmaceutical industry. That's right, stop gouging us. Stop robbing the people. You want to end medical apartheid and protect increased rights for people with disabilities. End the war on drugs and associated collateral damage on families and communities. Booyah! Establish a COVID-19 commission to deliver justice for populations disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. Folks, will you stand up with me? Oh, I want to clap for this. Man, I want to clap for this badly. I have people that I respect that that have hit me up ever since this COVID shutdowns and these issues. Zakia is one of those people from Twitter, and she's also been on this show. And a lot of folks are concerned. For the record, folks, black businesses have been disproportionately impacted by this, the shutdowns. All of us, all people have been impacted, but when you're already disenfranchised, when you're already impaired as far as access to revenue, access to funds, access to opportunity, then when something changes in the market and there's a downturn, you disproportionately get hit. And that holds true when it came to the lockdowns of COVID-19. So we're still trying to rebound. And all children are behind who didn't get, like private tutors. It's a horrible thing. So let's keep going, guys. Just an amazing platform, guys. I got to reiterate, we are aiming for the moon here. Let those other campaigns aim for the midsection. We're aiming for the moon. Imagine this on a debate stage. Convene a federal panel of scientists and experts to study the safety and utilization of vaccines for infectious diseases. Establish a health bill of rights for disabled people to address and dismantle specific healthcare challenges they face. Come on now, guys. This is what a country's supposed to look like. I gotta ask you, is this Joe Biden's America? Is this what Joe Biden's got for us? Is this what his plans are? Yeah, because people keep saying how we're so lucky to have Joe. We don't want to take a chance with nobody else. You sure? Or you just well adjusted to mediocrity? You're just used to the way things are. You used to getting beat on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You're so happy you don't get beat on Fridays. You forgot you get beat on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. At least you don't hit me on Friday. At least you don't hit me upside the head on Fridays. You give me the weekend off. Come on now. And I don't mean to make light of it. I'm just saying folks, I want you to really put in perspective what you're talking about when you tell me Joe Biden's the best we could do. Because you're scared of Orange Man. Orange Man's already beating Biden. He's already winning. Biden's already behind. Come on now. Joe Biden's platform don't look like this. And when you going to talk about Trump's? Oh, when Trump was here, we had jobs. Then the pandemic came. Right? All right. Stop telling me about unemployment numbers. Unemployment numbers are bogus. Once you stop looking for work, they assumed you went back to work. Once your benefits run out, everybody just thinks, hey, he magically found a job. So they're bogus. Let's keep going, guys. My bad. Let's keep going, Tim. We were just on health. Health is number 4. Let's go to 5. Racial justice. Boom. So that's why I say, man, why aren't people, why don't y'all trust me, man? Now, I know why you don't trust me. You know. You got all these other people to trust. I get it. Maybe I haven't earned your trust. But come on, man. Reparations Commission for a national program to address the unpaid debt to Black U.S. residents. Hello? Hello, somebody. Reparations Commission for a national program to address the unpaid debt. Not the giveaway, not the hookup, not the 5-finger discount. Dr. West ain't the only one with gangster proclivities. The unpaid debt to Black U.S. residents. That's right, guys. I love the way he frames this. Man, I'm not asking you to do me no damn favors. I'm saying pay what you owe. Isn't that what you been saying? We need to do? Pay what we owe? We want you to want the United States of America. The United States of America. That you. You don't owe me nothing. This ain't about you, Brad. It's about the country. It's about 6, 7, 8 generations of Black folks who could not build wealth. Your family didn't have that problem. Them 4 houses down south that you got that were stolen from my family. You don't think I should be made whole from that? You don't think I should be able to pass something on to my kids? Come on, Johnson. Come on now. But you love me, though. You love me, but you respect me, though. I'm your friend, huh? We friends. I'm being over the top, huh? Then I go bringing up old stuff. Never forget. Never forget. Oh, it's never forget when it's other people, but when it's me, hurry up and forget. Why are you still talking about it? Please forget. Oh, here we go again. No such thing as a Native American card or a Jewish card or a Japanese card. It's only one card. The black card. It's the only card that gets played, huh? It's no white card. It's no pissed off old white guy card. Huh? It's the only people that get ridiculed for bringing up this situation is black folks. Now, I know it's going to happen because everyone's not watching this live stream because everyone hasn't shared it. But please put a 1 in the comment section if you did share this. If you did share it. Because I'm so tired of people asking me, Tim Black, does Dr. West support reparations? Yes! He does. And I would suggest to you that Dr. Cornel West is very much, I want to say this. Dr. Sandy Darity, Dr. Sandy Darity, I would just like to submit to Dr. West that Dr. Sandy Darity be a part of that commission. Dr. Sandy Darity and Dr. Kirsten Mullins be a part of this. All right, let me keep going, guys. I'm sorry. I get hooked up. This is once again we're aiming for the top. We don't want mediocrity, and we want to hold them accountable, and we want to force the issue on what's necessary. Not beg, not plead for crumbs, and say thank you. Oh, these are good crumbs. You could I have a little bit of salt for my crumbs, please. Oh, these are good crumbs. We're tired of that. It's time for us to stand up tall. Straighten your backs and go forward and demand better. Come on, Tim Black, get it going. End mass incarceration and codifying voting rights for all incarcerated people. Immediately reinstate voting rights for all returning citizens. Give it up for that. Give it up for that. Address the disproportionate mortality rate for Black pregnancies. Lord, sisters. Oh, man. Tim Black, why are you so mean to that sister? You were so hard on her. She was speaking the truth. She support Joe Biden. Stop being hard on that sister. That's how that's how she always talk. She ain't putting it on for us. She ain't playing a stereotype because that's what the Democrats want her to do. Hey guys, if this is not in a platform, can you tell me that you love black women? See, my candidate wants black women to survive childbirth. Don't tell me I don't love black women. The candidate I support wants you to live. I should just be able to walk off right now. I should just be able to walk off like Steve Harvey and just walk there. Who used to walk off? Somebody used to walk off. They used to drop the line and just walk off. No one, Steve. Bruce used to just finish his joke and walk off stage. He didn't say goodnight because he had said a dope joke. He finished with a strong punchline, and then he just walked off. Well, that's how I feel when I bring this up. How can you tell me that you care about black women when you don't care if they live? If you don't care if they survive childbirth? If they're dying at 3 times the rate of white women giving birth? We're talking. Black women are dying at the rate that white women were dying in the 1800s giving childbirth. They're doing that now. And when I bring it up, when we talk about these issues, you're divisive. Anything black is divisive. It's crazy how that works. But it's a very simple thing, folks. If you don't care about black women surviving childbirth, can you say you care about black women? I mean, I care about you, but hey, that's on you. If you live, can't help you live. I'm going to keep going, guys. I just want you to realize the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party, the hypocrisy of the smear tactics. I'm supporting the only candidate that wants to make sure that black women survive pregnancy. The only candidate that put that in their policies. Who's zooming who? Require public review commissions for every police force in the nation. That's right. If you're going to be a member, if we're going to have a police force in this state that's sanctioned by the federal government, you're going to have a review board, baby. That's citizens, not cronies. Reinstate Section 4B and Section 5 of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Come on, y'all. Votes don't matter. If it didn't matter, it wouldn't be trying to take it away from you. Don't nobody take something away from you that doesn't matter. Come on, guys. Look, I would never say that voting rights, that voting is everything, because it's not. Electoral policy is just one tool in the toolbox to try to get the people what they want for fair and justice, okay? It's just one tool. The other tools, there's direct actions, okay? There's other things. But come on now. Come on now. Stop with this idea because, look, I understand you think it's radical not to vote. How is it radical to stay home? You stay home all the time, anyway. You stay home all these other days. How is it radical that you choose to stay home today when it's time to vote? That's radical. Radical is doing something. It's not radical to do nothing. People do that all the time. So just this warped mentality, man, and I would love to debate these guys on this. Come on now, let's have a debate. Let's have a debate why it's so radical to sit out elections. I'm not saying you have to vote, but I'm saying people that have platforms that are telling people they should sit out an election because that's where the power is. Our power isn't doing nothing. You're not a worker on strike. We got to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation in good faith on both sides. I'm not telling you the skies will open and all things will be, all crooked lines will be made straight. I'm telling you is, stop telling people that that's the key to getting things done. And if you're talking about, how are you going to talk about a government policy that you want done, but then tell people not to vote until you get the policy? How will you get the policy if you don't vote? It doesn't even make sense, guys. I'm just putting it out there. I don't want to take too long here, but come on now. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like you want to be the manager, but you don't want to get hired. You want to score a touchdown, but you don't want to play on the team. You want the water to boil without putting water in the pot. And people going, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He is radical. Really? Him as magician. He could do it with his mind. I'm going to get you reparations with my mind. I know what you could do. Donate to my fund. See, I'm going to build this over here. I'm going to build something. I'm going to do something. I'm just keeping it real, guys. Yeah, it's cool to build stuff and do stuff. All those things are important. I support that. And I support you doing that. And I support other initiatives. Right? I support but those are other things. Those are separate. We need all that. And all I'm saying, we should have that conversation. But too often, people don't want to have a conversation. They want to throw rocks and hide their hands. I'm willing to have a conversation about it. Let's keep going, Tim Black. We can stay here all day. But this is an all-day broadcast. You understand what I'm saying, Wolfpack? This is an important broadcast because this is about who you're going to choose to be your president. Now, you could vote on other things in life. You choose other things. We're choosing a president. And all I'm saying is, I don't think look, I'm not saying you got to choose Dr. Cornel West because you like his tie. I'm saying policy, man. All I've been hearing, Marianne Williamson, she got reparations on her. All I'm saying, Tim Black, I hear what you're saying about West, and yeah, he been a scholar for 40 years, but Marianne Williamson got reparations. Okay. Dr. West had reparations on the other website, and it's on this website. And I think part of the reason why he left the Green Party has something to do with not enough focus on the chocolate side of town. When Dr. West says chocolate side of town, it means people that look like me. See, when y'all talking about the Green Party and how great it is, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure some fantastic people. I met some very good people in the Green Party, guys. I'm sorry I got to give you the tea a little bit. Don't nobody support black people like this should in this country, not even the Green Party. Go back, watch the interview with Dr. Cornel West. Watch it again if you've already watched it, and rewind it where he talks about his reasons for leaving the Green Party. So, that's going to be in another video. Let's keep going, folks. Let's keep going, Tim Black. Come on, Tim Black. Here we go. Reinstate the fair use of race and ethnicity as a factor for admission to secondary school and universities. What? Reinstate the fair use of race and ethnicity as a factor for admission to secondary schools and universities. Yeah, I loved how a Republican white guy took some Asian people that were pissed and weaponized them against poor black people. It didn't go after legacy admissions, which constitute a far more of the actual slots for students than black kids get or black students get. One more time. I loved how a Republican, an old white male Republican, funded an initiative to end affirmative action by weaponizing pissed off Asian people, to not go after the white people to get most of the job, most of the slots because their parents went to the schools, but instead went after the smaller number of black people because people do it all the time. We go after black people because black people don't have agency. Make it make sense. It makes sense. Because if you're going to bully someone, you bully a black. Happens all the time. Then when the black people fight back, then they're called the aggressor. Let's keep going, guys. Establish a land back commission to explore and address brutal land theft, attempted genocide of, and broken treaties with indigenous peoples. I support that. I support that. That's one of the things about black folks, man. We support other people getting a fair shake because we're a people of justice. One of the problems is a lot of times people don't support us back. So some of us have grown tired of black people being so accommodating to others when it's not in return. It's not reciprocated. And I hear you. Fairness is fairness, though. Justice is justice for all. They broke a lot of treaties with these indigenous people. It needs to be set straight. I support this policy. I want for you what I want for myself. All right? Keep it moving, Tim Black. Full use of federal forces to investigate and end the epidemic of missing and murdered indigenous women. Folks, when was the last time? I don't mean no harm, Johnson. I don't mean no harm. I don't mean no harm. When was the last time somebody even thought about mentioning this? When was the last time somebody even thought about mentioning this? I don't know. Has any ever presidential candidate ever thought about mentioning this? Dr. Cornel West is. He doing that to Aaron. He doing that because he want to help Biden. Oh, okay. Come on, y'all. That all you got? That it? It's not a missing black babies, too. Black girls. Black young women. Epidemic amount. Underreported. Because we got to talk about Trump 24/7 on our cable news. We got to talk about these missing women being trafficked. We can't talk about that. That's a downer. Let's talk about Russia and TikTok, China. Let's go back here. Codify the Justice for Black Farmers Act for immediate execution. Here we go. There it is. Ding, ding, ding. The witch is dead. Another underreported issue that should be addressed. Come on, Tim Black. You're going to be on till 5 o'clock at this rate. Well, you know what? Some things take time. Some things take time. They take time. Why? Because we care. Because it takes time to do things right. That's why. That's why it takes time. It takes time because we have a platform that is comprehensive, that aims from the stars for the moon, aims for the moon. It's what you call robust. Like Aretha, robust. Number 6, transformational. That's what it is. Number 6 is transformational justice. Here we go, guys. All these wedge issues, this is great. Yeah, we need to bring people back to reality on some of these things. Protect free speech. Enforce whistleblower protections. Stop the prosecution of those who expose government corruption. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Come on now. Who doesn't love this? Protect free speech. Protect whistleblowers. And anyone who exposes governmental corruption. Those are your heroes. Those are the heroes. Hey man, look, I never had a problem supporting Julian Assange. I just got upset when you weren't supporting Tamir Rice, Fidel Castro, Philando Castile. I called him Fidel Castro. My bad, Philando Castile. Breonna Taylor. When I brought those names up, people, justice is justice, right? Julian Assange didn't do anything wrong. It's a travesty that brother's still in jail. Come on, Tim Black. You want to shut down Cop City and plans for similar facilities across the nation? Give it up for that. Marcos, give it up for that. Stop Cop City. Shut down Cop City. Folks, Keisha Lance Bottoms was horrible. Horrible for the people of Atlanta. They put a black face on it though, didn't they? Oh, they put a black face on it and you go, oh, sister looks like my sister, my aunt, my girlfriend, my wife, or my mom or something. So they like doing it. They like putting a brown face on the face of Wall Street or corporate greed or, in this case, disenfranchisement, over-policing, military policing. They like doing it. Like with that Scorpion unit out of what was that, Minnesota, what was it? That police chief of the Scorpion unit that beat to death Tyree Nichols? Yeah. Put a black face on it to brutalize black bodies. Stop Cop City is a horrible, horrible precedent that's being set. The people in the community don't want it. They're putting it in the community, in the black community, in the black poor community. They killed a protester who, due to an independent autopsy, was proven to be having his hands up, sitting in a cross-legs-like situation. And with Stop Cop City, and with Cop City, folks, all they're going to do is train these officers to be more RoboCops. But the officers got to get trained. We need to rethink our policing altogether. Let's rethink this. Can we come up with something new? We can't. It's a new day. Keep going, Tim Black. In mass incarceration in the prison industrial complex. Come on, y'all. I'm telling you, we going for it. We going for the jugular. We serious about this. We're not playing games. We're aiming for the moon. Your friend's favorite politician is not. They just playing around. We want to redistribute police funding to unarmed community-led forces. We need to rethink our policing. We need to rethink safety. Rethink safety in our communities. Eliminate crowded prison facilities by developing alternatives to incarceration. Look guys, check this out. Almost 70% of the people that are in jail are there for nonviolent offenses. Why can't they be somewhere else? I understand we say, look, we got some people that are just so violent they need to be kept somewhere different. But if 70% of the folks that are incarcerated, almost 70, I think it was the high 60s or something, I'm going to go with 70. If 70% of prisoners in jail right now are there for nonviolent offenses, why put them in jail with a bunch of violent people, with violent people? You trying to create more violence? Make it make sense. You don't wash your colors with your whites. I'm just saying, that came out wrong, but you know what I mean. If you're going to bleach the whites, because you got to bleach the whites to get them white. So it makes sense to separate. You separate the clean from the dirty. Like, you know, when you wash your clothes, those are clean. When you wash the dishes, are these clean? Because we don't want to put the clean with the dirty, or we don't want to put the violent with the non-violent. We got to separate, like if we want to, first of all, we need to stop giving up on rehabilitation, okay? People need assistance, services, what have you. But there should be separate situations. I mean, if we want to be humane. I mean, if we're going to be the number one incarcerator of people on the planet, why not do it better? Why not care about the people and make it a better process? I would love to just end it, but we can't, because some people are violent and things have to happen. Some people got to get pulled out of society. I get that. Remember, society built them, though. Remember that. They didn't fall from the moon. But be that as it may, folks, don't it just make sense? I know it seems like, oh, come on, Dr. West. We can't get them to do this. We can't get them to give us crossing guards, Tim Black. Come on. I want somebody advocating for us that's going to go for it. I want somebody advocating for me and my kids at the highest levels. I don't want somebody trying to back us into a policy. I want you to say, hey, we want the best that you got. And some of us settle for nonsense. We settle for the lowest common denominator. We go, what you got? My mom used to do that, you know, because we shopped a lot at thrift stores when I was coming up. Just didn't have the money. And I say, Mom, I like your shirt. She'd say, how much is it? Sometimes she'd ask me how much it was without even looking at me. Because that determined if she's going to like that shirt or not. We need not to do that with government policy in the richest country on earth. We should be like, what's the shirt made of? What's the quality of the shirt? We shouldn't be like, what's the cost of the shirt? They don't go, what's the cost of these bombs? They don't go, what's the cost of these fighter jets? They don't go, what's the cost of this overthrowing of a government? What's the cost of this coup? They don't do that. So stop asking me, what's the cost of health care? What's the cost of ending mass incarceration? What's the cost of clean water? Don't ask me stupid questions. If you don't ask me what's the cost of these bombs, don't you set your mouth to ask us what's the cost of health care and other things we need. We got to stand up, man. We got to stand up to them. Come on, y'all. We got to stand up to them. Let's keep going, but I swear, man, these policies get me going. We need to eliminate crowded prison facilities. We already did that, Tim. See, I love that one so much I want to go back to them. A prisoner bill of rights. What? Prisoners have rights? They're still citizens? That includes the right to humane treatment, humane living conditions for all correctional facilities. Once again, guys, we could go over each one of these topics and do an essay. Each one of these policies and do a deep dive into why it's important. The number of inmates who die. I know when I was supporting Senator Nina Turner, my friend Nina Turner, for her run for Congress, a lot of people didn't pay attention to the race. They didn't. This person, you know, they kind of arbitrarily panned and decided who they supported in that race. But see, since I was supporting her and I was covering it weekly, it afforded me the time to do some research about Ohio. And there were a number of deaths in the prison. A number of deaths, unexplained deaths, needless deaths, deaths of negligence and brutality and inhumanity to citizens. And I noticed that Chantel, who was Chantel Brown, I think her last name is. I noticed that she hadn't been speaking about it. There was no public advocacy for the jails in Ohio where people were dying. And that was one of the reasons why I thought it was so important that Nina Turner get elected. I just want you to know that the prisons in Ohio are not that different than some of the prisons across this country where inmates die and investigations are insufficient at best. So Epstein getting killed in prison, that happens all the time. Okay? I saw one case where a prisoner was ate to death by bed bugs. You know how long you got to be eaten by bed bugs to die from it? I'm going to keep going, guys. But everything shouldn't have to happen to you or somebody you love for you to give a damn. That's all I'm saying. That's all. But who goes to jail? Who goes to jail? Poor people, the blacks, and poor people. So, they don't care. No one cares. Long time coming. Thank you, Dr. West. And thank you, Anthony Rogers. Abolish the use of solitary confinement. There it is, solitary confinement. Khalif Browder was his name. Teenager when he went in that box. It robbed him emotionally and psychologically of peace of mind and stability. Being sentenced to solitary confinement for almost a year. For stealing a backpack that they never proved that he stole, and that he was never actually convicted of stealing. He just fell through a crack. Happens like that when you're poor and black. Probably when you're poor in anything, but you get what I'm saying? Khalif Browder, please look it up. And that's just one example. I use his name because that's the name I know. I'm sure there are many other instances. There has to be. There are. Investigated in sentencing discrepancies based on race, ethnicity, and class. Once again, guys, this is big time in the sentencing. One of the reasons why, and we're going to probably get to this because I'm pretty sure I know the heart and I know the intention of Dr. West, but that sentencing is corrupt. Our sentencing is corrupt because it's run by humans, and our humans are what? Human. And they have what? Biases and bigotries and prejudice and all the other things that go along with it. That's why. So there's an uneven distribution of pain, uneven distribution of incarceration rates based on things like class and race and probably even identity. We're going to get to that. Okay? These policies, folks, are the best I've ever seen. I've been covering politics for over a decade. These are the best policies. I didn't get serious about candidates until like 2015, though. So let me just say, since 2015, these are the best policies that I've ever seen. Best, bar none. Next. There it is, ban the death penalty. Life without the possibility of parole. 3 strike laws, Joe Biden, mandatory minimums, Joe Biden, and sentence enhancements politics. Boom. Boom. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know. When it comes to crime and being someone from working class backgrounds, poor folks, one in the chat if you grew up with little money. One in the chat if you grew up with little money. One in the chat if you lived in neighborhoods, even after you grew up, that were crime. Crime ridden. Had crime in them. If you ever seen a dead body or heard gunshots, not that out of the normal. And I'm saying all this to say, like, look, being a person who has been the victim of crime and seeing crime up close, not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of crime. And there's a lot of people making a lot of waves right now, folks, that are like talking about things as if they discovered something new. And I get it. It's great for the internet. It's a good way to get a bag. Oh, we need to do better on this. We need to do better on that. None of these people are asking why. That's what I don't like. They're not asking why. One thing I know from my time being on this earth and living in situations like that and being around and get to know people, very few people are desperate who aren't desperate. Yeah, it takes desperation to be desperate. Enough to risk going to jail for 20 years. Most people are not that ignorant where they'll just do things without desperation being a factor. It would be nice if people understood desperation leads people to do desperate things. Given a different situation, most people who do desperate things tend not to do them. I'm not saying in all cases. But me being not a fan of crime and definitely not a fan of murder, I would like to point this out. I got in debates with people about the death penalty. And during my debates with people about the death penalty, I did research and I found out death penalty is arbitrarily handed out and is disproportionately handed out to who? Black folks. Yeah. You know it. Yep. But to bring it up is to consider to be divisive. Folks, I can't support the death penalty, and believe me, some of these cases, these situations are horrendous. But if I know in the core of my heart, if I know, based on the studies, based on the numbers, based on the data, not my feelings, not my feelings of disgust about what this guy did or what this woman did, but just knowing how inequitable our system is. It just is, guys. So that's the death penalty. We got to ban it because, first of all, who are we to judge if someone's life should be taken? And second of all, our current system is so flawed. How many times have we found out someone's been proven innocent after being in jail? And you really believe that hasn't happened with people that we put to death? People that we've executed by the state? We get it wrong we get it wrong other times. How can we not get that wrong? So anyway, let's keep going, guys. I'm sorry, just these policies are just so amazing. Restore voting rights to people with criminal records, including those who are currently incarcerated. Give it up. Give it up, guys. It's so funny. We got people saying we shouldn't give them voting rights because why not? Don't people in jail, they got grievances they want addressed. They might want a candidate that would help them have policies that would help people like themselves. There are people that say, oh, Tim Black, that's not good because the warden will make them vote for certain candidates. What? What old movie have you been watching too much of? Andy Griffith Show? What are you watching? What old black and white movie with no sound are you watching when you think, oh, there goes the warden, go down there, and someone's got the keys on a big thing? And I mean, what world are you living in? You're deranged, man. Anything not to give people rights. Just anything that's pull anything out and throw it against the wall to side with the status quo. Bunch of cowards. There ain't a bunch of wardens running around working with local mayors or governors or whatever. I need you to get all the inmates to vote for me. See? See? But people, this is their justification. See? It's crazy. That's why they don't want to give inmates to vote. They're afraid that wardens are going to, they watch too much Oz. Remember that show Oz on HBO? Okay, here we go. Back to the clips, Tim. Confiscate all military equipment from civilian police forces. That's right. You ain't in Fallujah. You ain't in Afghanistan, and you should have never been in Afghanistan or Fallujah. And no, you don't need to treat our citizens like you are. Okay? Ooh, got some smooth artillery tools. We like fun. Yeah, go have fun and read a book. Learn how to handcuff somebody or apprehend somebody without taking their life. How about we learn that, Skipper? Yeah, how about we get better at that part? War Machine, how about we do that? Huh? How about you get better at understanding Miranda rights? Understanding how not to apply a chokehold. How about understanding how not to beat a man half to death who's already handcuffed? How about we do that before we learn how to drive a tank down the street? Look really cool and selfie. These people are morons. A lot of them are mentally unstable. And you got them in black communities and poor communities. Black communities and poor communities all across this country have a lot of people that are unstable. It's, you know who says this? A lot of good cops. You see, there are people that think that good cops don't tell you about bad cops. They're bad cops standing next to good cops who will kill those good cops if the good cops open their mouth too much. That's how corrupt the system is. And once you learn not to body slam kids on their heads, they're Antonio, before you fly on the chopper. Huh? The stealth bomber you want to fly the stealth bomber into the neighborhood over there to show off. And did you get a psych eval from your time over there when the U.S. put you in harm's way to send you over there to begin with in whatever country that has brown people for you to kill them for their oil money? Let's just be real about it. Well, did you really sit down, someone talk softly to you with dim lights for a couple months to make sure your head's screwed on right, that you should even be in authority over human beings? Or animals, for that matter. That's right. But see, a lot of Americans don't care because you're not in their neighborhoods. Over-policing. Keep going, Tim Black. While we're young. End and prohibit all police training programs by military forces, including but not limited to the Israel Defense Forces. What? Yo, hold on. Marcos from Harlem. Lawrence Sneed. Come on now. Military training of police forces, civilian police forces. He said Israeli defense. Abby Martin. Hey, Abby. It's your guy. Max Blumenthal, full of crap. Max, you hear this? You support this? How about you, Aaron Mate? You guys support this? The disgrace zone. You guys support Dr. West? You should. You should. These are policies that you won't get anywhere else. And Joe Biden's not pushing for this. Oh, that's right. He said black that time. Dr. Cornel West says black. Oh, my God. We can't do this. Got to go support Biden. Got to go another way now. No candidate is even coming close, guys. Their website may look prettier, but it's not. The policies are not better. Okay? The policies are not better. Not too bad for an independent party. Independent person running. There you go. No party affiliation. Not too bad, a policy initiative, and we're only halfway through. We still got 5 more to go. We're at number 6. But not too shabby for an independent party. Person. Keep saying party. For an independent person running non-party affiliated. Not too bad, guys. What's to end military police training by outside groups that are like the Israeli Defense Fund? Huh. They come in and teach them how to be psycho killers to U.S. citizens. Saying, man, I want to hit the button to clap so badly. But I would respect my sister who gave me that advice and said, Tim Black, the content that you cover is so serious. They're hitting buzzers and claps. Just don't do it justice. And you know what? I take your suggestion to heart, and I'm learning from it. Okay? I appreciate you saying my content's worthy of more respect, and I appreciate that. Let's keep going, guys. We're still getting busy. We're getting busy. Wow, we got a lot going on here. Woo. After transformation, we got education. Education justice. Can you see that, guys? We want to center public schools and reduce the need for charter schools. Oh, my goodness gracious. Center public schools. I got to bring my brother on. I got a brother I want to bring onto the show because this is his expertise. Education. Citizen Chris. Citizen Chris, where are you, my brother? Citizen Chris is my brother. And look, I told him I wanted to bring him on. Citizen Chris, that's his name. Everybody put down this. At Citizen Chris, Citizen Stewart. Chris Stewart is his name. He's an educologist. Let me come back on real quick. His name is Citizen Chris at Citizen Stewart on Twitter. He's a host of the Branch Media, founder at Wayfinder Foundation. He's a chief influencer and an educologist. And he's just on point. And we want to talk about charter schools and public schools. Charter schools and public schools. I think Zakiya is also part of that. Anyway, I just know some great people. And this conversation about charter schools and public schools, people say, oh, we want charter schools. We need to also improve public schools. I understand you want to send your children to charter schools. That's because the public schools are lacking. But everybody can't go to a charter school. And so it's like a lottery to escape the worst of school. We need to improve those schools. Right? Right. Because everybody can't get into the charter school. There's waiting lists. There's capacity issues. Right? So we got to have options. And one of those options should be better public schools. I believe that, man. I stand by that. Thank you, Dr. West, for this policy. In the nexus of quality education and tax base. Oh, God. See, this is it, man. This is what I'm talking about. When the tax base determines the quality of your education. There's no reason why a public school in Beverly Hills should be better than a public school in Lowndes County, Alabama. See, when people talk about race versus class, I get you. I get you. When it comes to issues like this, perfect example. When we can ride together and agree on this, we should tackle it. But recognize if you got a poor white community and a poor black community, which one you think is catching more hell? They're both already poor. Yeah, I know. I heard the Theo Von clip too that Goofy played. I heard it too. Because he wants to prove a point. We can go one step further and say, well, we got poor white folks and poor black folks. Who gets the worst end of the stick, you think? Can't say poor because we're both poor. Now we're being divisive. Whenever you're not the focus, you become divisive. It's divisive. Let's keep going, Tim Black. You make your point. Keep going. Free tuition for all. State and community colleges. Bam! I feel like Richard Dawson. Number one survey is free tuition for all state and community colleges. Oh, come on. Come on, guys. Dr. West, teachers. We got any teachers in the house? Do we have any teachers in the crowd, guys? I got to know. Do we have any teachers? I want to know. I want to see in real time how my teachers feel about this. Teachers. Come on, guys. Minimum wage, $80,000 for all U.S. public school teachers. Jesus Christ, guys. You don't know. I'm going to have to put my hands in my pockets. I want to clap for this. People always talk about how cops are underpaid or something. Police officers are underpaid. You know who's underpaid? Teachers. You know, the people that try to educate our children. Teachers. I love it. Why you support Dr. Cornel West? Policy. I love his hair. I wish I had some. But besides the great hair, the policy. That annoying guy that loves Kamala Harris more than he loves life itself. He never talks about Kamala's policies, because they were bad. He says superficial things like, she was a Soro, and she went to Howard, and her skin is brown, and she could dance. Policy, you moron. You insignificant moron. Policy. My people are not going to be able to have a better life because this person could dance, because they can line dance with Auntie Maxine. Ski. Whatever that is. Ski. So tired of that. No diss to people that went to fraternities and sororities. No diss. Congratulations. What the hell that got to do with me and healthcare? What the hell that got to do with reparations? What the hell that got to do with a hate crime bill? What the hell that got to do with better schools? I want to figure out what's the better thing. How that helps. I'm a cute dog. Okay, what they got to do with the schools being better though? How is it going to end mass incarceration? I'm just wondering. What's that got to do with it? What's it got to do with it? I know some white people are like, what is Tim talking about? Well, there's a fixation of people who are, because see, black people believe if we could just get education, everything will work out. See, black people went through a series of constant rotations of of different fixations on different ways to get equality in America. And one of those fixations was education. But we underestimated the amount of discrimination we would face. That education did not solve it. We found out that we still weren't getting the jobs, and when we were getting the jobs, we were underpaid. And when we did get the jobs, even though they were underpaid, when they started making cuts, they cut us first. What I'm saying is we had a fixation on education. But it's much more than that. It helps, but it doesn't help. Okay, so we're going to keep going, Johnson. I could be here all day. Better schools, better students. Dismantle the school-to-prison pipeline by removing police and so-called school resource officers from all public schools. Cancel the school-to-prison pipeline. Cancel all student debt. Come on, man. But come on, Joe Biden said. There was a brother in my comment section on YouTube, and he was saying, man, I don't mean no harm, but Joe Biden cleaned up my debt. So, I ain't got a problem with it. I'm just saying. It's like, I feel you, man. Congratulations. I'm glad that Joe Biden was helpful. Do you realize that he cleaned up about 800,000 people's debt? I understand that's a lot of people. But like 40 million people got student debt. 40 million people got student debt. How many times is 800,000 going to 40,000? And he only cleaned up 10,000, 20,000 if you had a Pell Grant. You must not have went to a very expensive school over a long period of time. And once again, I'm very happy your debt got cleaned up. But I'm saying a lot of people got more than $10,000 worth of student loan debt. So even those people that got the 800,000 people that got some type of debt reduction or what have you, some of them still owe. They just owe less. He didn't clear the books, dude. You were fortunate because you didn't have that much debt to begin with. Look, I'm not against you getting what you got. That's great. But that's nothing compared to what he could have done. We can't just be in this for ourselves, dog. Stop just talking about yourself. I met people that can't get married because they got too much debt. They don't want to go in a relationship with all this debt. From schools that they were told to go to so they could compete in the marketplace for jobs that they're underpaid for, that they can't find. Because people lied and told them, all you got to do is go to school and pull your pants up, Pookie. Come on now, pull your pants up. Come on, Pookie. Pull your pants up. There you go. Pull your pants up. Rochelle, this guy's got his pants down. Why is his pants hanging off his butt? He can't get a job that way. Pull your pants up. Go get some student debt. Go to school. Pull your pants up. Then pray to God that you can turn white like me. I'm going to keep going. But we got to stop letting them get away with this. We got to say, we're going to aim for the moon. We're going to aim for the freaking moon, Johnson. And we're going to demand better. Let's keep going, Johnson. We want to cancel our student debt. We want to codify the use of race, ethnicity, and class for admissions. Yes. Once again, I know what the white Republican, old white Republican dude said. I got that Asian group of people that, whatever, go after the lowest people on the totem pole. The blacks. But just know, those legacy admissions are the real culprit. We're just the scapegoats, because if you're gonna scapegoat somebody, we always the prime suspect. Abolish state laws that limit or remove the full and accurate study of U.S. history. A dig at DeSantis and his bigoted policies. That's right, make it illegal to mess with history. We don't want people to feel bad. Now, you don't want people to know the truth. That's all, you don't want them to know the truth. You want them to be delusional. Because see, if more fair-minded people knew the truth about their history, then we might change the past or the present. We would change the present and the future. You don't want that, because that will change the status quo. Last thing you want is enlightened white people. Because the more white people know, the more possibility we have of changing things. And if we keep white people ignorant, and everybody else as well, there you go. Then we could kind of just keep repeating the same old stuff. Next, increase federal funding for historically black colleges, university and tribal colleges and universities. Absolutely. I believe the children are our future. Absolutely. Increase the funding. Increase the funding. Next. Back over here. Education and justice. Now we're moving on to LGBTQIA. Justice. Here it goes, guys. Any unwarranted, unnecessary, and dangerous assaults on transgender people. End it. Gender-affirming standards of care for trans people in public life and institutions. Codify an equal rights amendment for LGBTQIA in U.S. residents. National ban on any so-called don't say gay laws and all other anti-LGBTQIA laws. Hey, you know what, guys? I'll say this. Justice is wanting for your brother what you want for yourself, or your sister, or whomever. Wanting all human beings to get the same treatment. Fair, just treatment. Pursuit of happiness. Respect. Love. Acceptance. I think it's a no-brainer. That's all. No-brainer. Equal Rights Amendment. Equal rights. Now, look, unlike the Republicans, come on, guys, don't look. The Democrats are full of the Democrats' virtual signal. Democrats' virtual signal, and the Republicans just outright just bigoted policies. Folks, equal rights don't mean better rights. That means equal. That means better rights. That means super rights. These are my rights. My rights are just regular rights. You got super rights. No, equal rights. That's all. What? Equal rights. Black people didn't want to be super, man. We just wanted to have equal rights. That's who Dr. Cornel West is, a humanitarian, wants equal rights. If you're not opposed to that, if you can get with that, roll with Dr. West. Next. Ooh, controversial. The gun violence justice. Gun violence justice. We got to end the gun violence epidemic. You know, the thing about gun rights is sort of like most things. The people largely have a consensus that, hey, we need to toughen the access to certain guns. Most people say that. They want to up the ante on responsibility with firearms. Most people agree with that. You know who doesn't agree with it? Lobbyists. And since lobbyists pay politicians, a lot of politicians don't agree with it. But, yeah. Keep going, Tim Black. A National Gun Registry database for all civilians similar to the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act database in hazardous materials. National Gun Registry. Register your firearm. Establish similar requirements for driver licenses to gun ownership. I have no problem with that. Drastically limit the number of sales at gun shows. National mid-flag law that expedites the process of gun confiscation from individuals who pose a danger to themselves and communities. Why would you have a problem with this? I'm trying to understand why people would have a problem with trying to make them safer. I didn't notice take away all guns. I didn't notice that. Oh, that's because it doesn't have it there. Why? Because it's not something that we are advocating for. Gun violence. Justice. In gun violence justice. There you go. Next, Tim Black. You're on the road, Tim Black. Bring it home, Tim Black. I'm trying. Immigration justice. Immigration justice. Massive investment in transforming immigration policies to create a broad legal pathway for residency that centers compassion, morality, dignity, and ethics. We could do a better job, Johnson. We could end crimes against humanity for migrants and their families, no separation of families, no children in cages. We could cut the red tape that delays legal pathways to citizenship and permanent residence. Accountability for the U.S. role in exacerbating the migrant crisis. That's one of the things people need to recognize, is the amount of U.S. involvement that has led to the migrant crisis getting to our borders. Abolish ICE and demilitarize the southern border. Enforce international and national laws that allow for asylum seekers to enter the country without delay or prejudice. Okay. This is going to be controversial for some people, but I got to say this. The unfair treatment that we've experienced in this country for Black Americans, Black folks who have experienced these things because of racism in America, discrimination in America, marginalization in America, being disenfranchised in America intentionally by government policies that pursued the goal to do just that. That's what the goals were for. We don't want to be, how can I say this? If we had better policies that aided Black Americans, then immigration policies wouldn't be such an issue that made pathway to citizenship possible and more convenient or easier. But it is the treatment that we've received that has put us in a, so we've been put in a situation where we're not getting justice, right? That needs to be resolved, right? That's the problem. And that's what needs to be modified. So the immigration issues that we look at, I've been seeing a number of people, and I reported it, and I covered it in one of my recent podcasts, and I stand behind it. Black folks are suffering disproportionately, and there needs to be more focus on that. They're not suffering because we have immigration policies. They're suffering because we don't have good policies that protect, help, aid, support Black folks. It never have. That's the problem. Get it? Coming to the end. We did immigration. Last point, Global justice, y'all. Global justice. Dismantle the U.S. empire. Dismantle the U.S. empire. Somebody say, Tim Black, you need to be more involved in international affairs. Dude, I know more about domestic affairs than you do. One person can't do it all, but I can tell you this. Dismantling the empire will go a long way into helping us domestically, but don't get it twisted. America prints money. Yes, I'm familiar with MMT, modern monetary theory. I'm aware of it. So what I'm saying is, I do understand that if we decrease the military spending, we would have more money for social programs. Realize that's not why we don't have social programs. We don't have social programs because we got black people. And too many racist white people don't want black people to get social programs. It's not because of military spending. But that's a good scapegoat to say, we ain't got the money. We just don't got the money. It's like a spouse who's lazy, they don't want to go out and take the wife out, says, we can't afford it. You just don't want to go to the club with your wife. That's all it is. You can afford it. Don't order the sports package. Now you're talking crazy, Tim Black. What I'm saying is, robbing Peter to pay Paul is not the issue. That's not America's problem. America's problem is America's racist. All right, let's keep going, Johnson. We got a lot to get through on this one. Dismantle the U.S. empire, slash the bloated U.S. military budget, disband NATO, get out of Ukraine, expeditious and responsible closure of global U.S. military bases, AFRICOM, etc. Damn right. Global cooperation in lieu of full spectrum dominance. Yeah, how about not being the ruler of the empire? Cease all war funding and weapons to Ukraine and invest in peacemaking. Yes. There we go, Johnson. Your favorite candidate. Do they have these policies? I said, do your favorite policy or your favorite politician, favorite candidate for the U.S. presidency, do they have these same policies? And heck, do your favorite politician have these same policies? Why not? And why are they your favorite again? Because they did a Vogue cover? I'm just asking. What's so great about their policies that you support them? Not do you like their hairstyle or their backstory. Policy. Next. Cease military funding of the state of Israel. Man, I'm just sitting here wondering. I'm sitting here wondering can it get any better than this? I'm just wondering, can it get any better? Can it get better than this? Is it possible? Why on earth would you not support Dr. Cornel West? I mean, being an honest person, I know we got some people that aren't very honest. Honesty is not their strong suit. I know that. I get it. You know, maybe you're goofy from the Scooby-Doo van people, the Scooby-Doo van guys that vape in all their videos, children. I get it. Well, but how could you not support Dr. West after reading those policies? I don't know, some other dumb reason that you pulled out of your bong. Bill and Ted. Maybe you're from the Black Kid Network. I don't know. You're a wind-up doll for a drunk comedian in his garage or something. And you want to dump on Dr. West because it's good for business. After reading those policies, how could you support somebody else? You're just a contrarian goofball who realizes there's a lane and money to be made by saying you don't support anything, even when it's in your best interest, in the best interest of so many people in the world. It's the best platform I've ever seen. Best platform, hands down. We're not even done yet. We're not even done yet. Let's get done, Tim Black. End Israeli apartheid of Palestinian people, impressed the UN to establish a program for Palestinian dignity and liberation. There you go. Did he say, look, it's just fairness. It's called justice. That's all it is. It's just justice. We want justice. We want people to be treated justly. I know that's crazy, right? It's crazy to want that. It's crazy to demand that. It's crazy to say this is the goal we should have, because everybody else is going to be way down here. If they even had a heart to do that. Cowards. They are cowards. Cowards. You want to see some military support to nations committing war crimes. Saudi Arabia, or anybody thereof. Seesaw military support to nations committing war crimes. Truth and Reconciliation Commissions for U.S. interventions in Central America, South America, Africa, and Asia. What it be? What it is, people. It's the truth. See, what I love about Dr. Cornel West is that his policies are so good, they're so on point, they're so strong that it exposes people. Yeah, people become exposed. How do you in good conscience say this is not a good policy? They'll find ways. They'll fabricate ways. They'll thread the needle somehow. And some of them, because I don't know what it is, but they won't be successful in telling their audiences, it sounds good, but who cares about policy? He's not with the Green Party no more. Keep going, Johnson. We're getting close. End the Cuba embargo. Normalize relations by removing the nation from the SSOT list. Come on, y'all. No intervention, military or otherwise, in Haiti. Cancel IMF World Bank debts for so-called developing nations, especially nations on the African continent. What? Somewhere, Ajamu Baraka has a smile. That's about all you get out of Ajamu. That's about it. And that's everything, because that's as far as he goes. And if you get this, you know you killed it. This brother's smooth. He don't play. But somewhere I know he's smiling looking at these policies. Even Dr. Umar somewhere smiling. The brother said, dismantle, cancel all IMF World Bank debts for developing nations. Cancel all IMF World Bank debts for so-called developing nations. Cancel all IMF World Bank debts for so-called developing nations. Especially nations on the African continent. Especially nations on the African continent. Especially nations on the African continent. And last but not least, we're going to end the global patriarchy and associated violence that oppresses women around the world, and stand in solidarity with global women-led movements such as those in Afghanistan and Iran. Folks, what I want to say about this platform, I just don't have the words for it. Let me find some. Look, this platform is so robust. It's so inclusive. It's so comprehensive. It exposes the actual agenda of those people that oppose it. It puts on Front Street the real reasons behind them not supporting Dr. West. Whether it's education, environmental justice, racial justice, global justice. He hits on every one of these topics. How could they not support them? Well, they'll find a way not to support them. What I'm hoping that you'll do will be to advocate and spread the word about these policies. These are by far the best policies that I've ever read. Some candidates try to do a good job. Don't get me wrong. There's some candidates who try to do a good job and have done a decent job, but how decent is it when you leave out black women pregnancies? How decent is it when you leave out ending military training of our police forces by these groups? I mean, how decent is it when you don't want to close military bases around the globe and bring that money home? How decent is it when you don't want to increase the minimum wage to a wage that's actually a livable wage? When you don't want to back unions to the fullest extent? I mean, how decent is it? How decent are your policies? When they're too often or too friendly to and too timid to, too meek towards the status quo in the corporations that are robbing us blind. So these policies that are in this agenda will further expose them for what they really are, folks. I'm trying to tell you, anyone who takes enough time to go forth and read about these policies and what's on the menu, what's on the menu, they're going to walk away saying this is serious stuff. Once again, guys, we aiming for the moon. We're not aiming for the kneecap area. We're not showing up with our hat in hand saying, what can you give me? What can we get? We're stepping to with our back straight, with our eyes on the prize, and we're aiming for the best policies. Because we are a rich country that could do so much better by our citizens and by the world, the global community. So let's make America do that, and let's get behind Dr. Cornel West. Once again, go to CornelWest2024.com. Look it up for yourself. Look it up. Take a gander at it. It's all of that. And this is something that wasn't mentioned much yesterday when Dr. West announced that he was switching from the Green Party to an independent candidate. And all I'm saying is, folks, how could you not focus on policy? This whole thing is supposed to be about policy. Whole thing is about who's going to be the better leader of the free world. Who's going to be the next president of the United States? And that should be based on policy. In all this criticism, none of it was about the policy. I kept seeing people disappointed. I'm disappointed. You disappointed in these policies? Put these policies up against your candidate. Put them up. Then we can have a conversation. Then we can have a real conversation. But if all you're putting up is, I got a strange feeling your candidate won't be in the race after the primaries. And you know what? I got more than a feeling. I got a commitment that Dr. Cornel West is going to go all the way to the end of the election. the general election. And I'm going to keep him to his word. But speaking of words,
the threat is an institutional and an infrastructural threat, and I can understand that. But as long as you have a presence as well, and you're going to November, we going to November no matter what. No matter what.
Absolutely.
And as those states accumulate, and as the language of anti-imperialism, anti-militarism, anti-racism, critiques of predatory capitalism, concerned about ecological collapse, and you saw the platform that we dropped today.
Yes, that was my next. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the lead that gets buried, and you were one of the few ones to pick up on that. And Anahita told me that, and Anahita says hello to you as well.
Hello to her, Dr. West. Yes,
that she picked up on that, laying out that platform, man.
It's people over politics, and and the policy. The policy is what the people have really been clamoring about. Folks, I need you to all go check it out on the website. Yeah. I hope people will check it out on the website, cornelwest2024.com. Also, become a volunteer. Become a volunteer to the campaign. Of all the criticism that people have given Dr. Cornel West, I don't think enough focus has been on the policy, and I hope that now that let the smoke settle a little bit. I guess it's kind of, let it settle. But from time to time, we need to come back and look at policy, because this is what they want to get done, right? This is the vision they have for the country. Some people's vision is way too low. The expectations are way too low. The demands are way too low, and then you're going to wonder why the results are way too low. Yeah, if the vision's low, the expectations are low, how can you demand better results? I don't get it. So, with all the criticism that people have given Dr. West, why aren't they looking at policy? What's wrong with the policy? And what kind of policy does the candidate that they support have? And then you realize it ain't about a policy. They don't care about what Dr. West is advocating for. What they care about is other stuff. And frankly, we can't help you. Yeah, if you don't care about it, a universal basic income, a general jobs fund, you don't care about a 4-day work week. I mean, unionization. I mean, what do you not like about that? I just want to know, what could you possibly not like about this? Pre-K. Universal pre-K. I'm trying to understand what's the problem. Uncoupling tax base with school funding so that all our kids, have a shot at a better education with a better school. I'm trying to figure out what your problem could possibly be. If your problem is rooted in reality and something actually for citizens, your neighbors, people that look like me and you, poor and rich alike, all of us. I'm trying to understand what could possibly be the holdup. I think more people just need to know about it. It's a beautiful thing when all you got to do is let people know about it. That's all we got to do is let more people know about it, and I think people will very quickly warm up to these policies. These are no-brainers. Stop telling me in the greatest country, in the richest country, what have you. That's how y'all been selling it. As long as I've been alive, they've been selling this notion. America's the richest, most successful, okay, so why? Because we got a lot of different ice creams? Nah, it should be because we got great policies for our citizens. Because the quality of life of our citizens is so amazing. That's what that's how I measure greatness. I don't measure it by cable channels. Different flavors of Takis. supersized meals at McDonald's. That's not how I measure how great a country is. So, folks, all I'm saying is, why can't we have to hold them accountable, Johnson? I'm not saying we got to beat up on one another, but we got to ask the question at some point. Folks, I sell your content. You're saying a lot of stuff about how Dr. West is this and different that. Have you read his policies? Why aren't you looking at policy at all? And maybe Dr. West was getting pushback on these policies under the Green Party. I'm just putting it out there because, I mean, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Like, no one told me that. I'm just saying, I think chocolate side of town, my brother, my sister, some parties are not known for this level of depth in economics, worker, environment, health, racial, transformative, education, LGBTQIA, gun violence, immigration, and global at the same time. I love it, guys. My name is Tim Black. I hope that you consider, now don't consider it, just do it. Become a subscriber, not only a subscriber, become a member of this show. Get in now, we got room. Go to jointimblack.com. Jointimblack.com, become a member of this show. It's only $5 a month to start. Some people give more. We're going to be covering this election. We're going to be covering this race, and I'm going to be updating you on politics that matters to you. It's a no-brainer. Once again, CornelWest2024.com. Shout out to Dr. Cornel West, the Doctors West. That would be Anahita West, Dr. Anahita West, and Dr. Cornel West. And yeah, shout out to Peter Dow, too, for letting me know about some of this stuff. I'm going to be watching you, Peter, but so far I like what you're doing. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to put that out there. I like what you're doing so far. Let's take this show on the road. Let's make some noise. Look, I'm cautiously optimistic. My Lebanese brother. But let's keep the fires burning. Because see, I'm a person that I don't want Dr. West to maintain status quo unless it helps us. Unless it helps us. Not just to do it, but because it enhances the policy. Enhances the policy. I don't want to support a candidate with lesser policies because it's more with the status quo. Yeah. We want to be rebellious. We want to shake things up. Let's do it. Let's shake it up. All right, I'm Tim Black. Once again, join timblack.com. Become a member. We're just getting started. We got more great stuff to come. I love you. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. I don't care what they say. Where's the policy? I'm going to keep my cornbread. Where's my policy? When they say, why are you supporting Dr. Cornel West? Say, hey, have you seen these policies? Do you see what he's advocating for? Do you see what his campaign is built on? When they say, what? That's crazy. Say, it's a new day.
Thanks for watching Tim Black's in-depth analysis of Dr. Cornel West's 2024 campaign platform. Dr. West's platform is the most powerful people-driven platform of any presidential candidate in American history. It's the strongest platform ever put forward. We told you it was going to be a great broadcast. Become a member of the Tim Black Show. It's easy. It matters. Just go to jointimblack.com and sign up today. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. It's a new day.